All right, we should be started streaming. I hope welcome everybody who is here. Got started a little bit late, so if you want to watch the show and you're looking to the future and can fast forward about 2 minutes, and we will be hitting movie sign. It'll be time to start the show. How are you doing, the missus? You kind of came in here in a big rush.
I did. I am getting in here late tonight.
That's understandable. And
Let me just, while you're talking here, test and make sure everything's a go and that you can hear what I have going on. So tell me if you can hear this.
Well, we're boned.
I can hear that.
Okay, then we're good to go.
There we go. So I have again the magic of technical stuff. I have 3 screens up right now.
God, how did you get 3?
Well, I have 2 screens, but I have one of them broken up into multiple parts.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing what a hacksaw will do.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I have in one screen I have the YouTube, and it is playing, but it is paused, so I can see what people are saying. And Tadano Hito is here, as is Tim. Yes, guys. And then I have the main screen with where you, so I can react to that in real time. And then I have my show notes, and then I have a piece of paper. What an archaic thing. And I think now is when I should remind everyone to like and subscribe this, because we will have literally dozens of people watching the show. You about ready to go? Is it about time for movie sign?
Let me find the thing that would tell us that.
It is movie sign.
Is it?
It is.
Oh my gosh, it is. Hang on. I'm just not prepared. Again,
It's okay. I can tap dance, but you gotta go.
I was late getting in here. Okay, hang on.
Just hit the music.
All right, here we go.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 101st live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I am your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
You made it just in time. That's so cool. It's like you were a trained professional. And the missus, who is deep in the bowels of the earth at the Wilder Industries bunker.
That I am.
Welcome. Mark, since you came screaming in, how you doing?
I didn't come screaming in. I was in. I just didn't say anything.
He's just quiet.
Because he likes turtles. All right. So how has your week been, Mark? I mean, has it been a short week for you?
Yeah, it's fine. We've had a lot of rain here, so I didn't get to do anything that I wanted to do over the weekend, but whatever. How about you guys?
You got to send some of that rain this way. We are desperate for it.
Yeah, we definitely use some.
Yeah.
It is
dry and dusty here.
Yes, it rained the other day, and I could count the drops. Literally, I could count the drops on the hood of my car.
All it did was kick up the dust.
There's about 50 drops.
Yeah.
And Codex is here. Q's apparently at work. Highest Codex. And so, any tales of mirth and excitement? I know that the missus doesn't have her normal little funnies, because she just came screaming in.
I did. I came screeching in about 20 minutes ago. And so I just barely got everything for the show in. I was looking for funnies and didn't come across any.
So do you
So I
need me
don't
to
have
tap
any.
dance? Because I can tap dance because I have a thing ready that we could either do now or later.
No, and
Yeah,
I
but we
was
can.
just gonna. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I was gonna say, but we can't see you tap dance. So what's the point?
It's probably a good thing.
So what I have, and I'll kind of blow the secret. I have a survey that we can all take together and to see what the result is.
Okay, yeah, I'm
But
on board with that.
it's like a
But
serious.
is it
We'll
from
do that.
Cosmo?
It is. What cocktail am I?
No, I just want to talk a little bit. One of the reasons why I don't have a lot of the donkey is on vacation tonight, the braying jackass, because the braying jackass is tired. Here's what the tired donkey sounds like. See, the donkey is tired. The donkey's on vacation tonight, so we have no braying jackass tonight. And one of the reasons for that is that the day that I normally do a lot of that stuff was yesterday, and instead of being here at home in my basement cave putting stuff together for the podcast, I was sitting in a dentist chair, which is not fun. Now, I know nobody likes going to the dentist, but I have a serious phobia about it, and it has gotten worse as I've gotten older. And so I went to a place where they told you that they would give you the nitrous stuff, right? And so the first time I went, they did that, and I was very mellow, and it was a decent experience. The first good experience I've had at the dentist in a long time. But then I went yesterday, and they were not doing any stuff that should hurt, but they didn't give me the nitrous stuff, and so I kind of freaked out. And it was literally like being tortured. I mean, I was not in a good place.
The dental assistant came out and just was pale white and said, "I'm not going to say everything she said, but we had to stop." She seems quite a bit upset.
Yeah. I mean, it was really just kind of a terrifying experience. And they were, one of the things they were doing, they nicked my gum and so made me bleed all over the place. And so they couldn't do what they were going to do anyway. And since I was so stressed out, it wouldn't stop bleeding. And it was just, it was awful. When they set the dentist chair up, I thought I was going to pass out. I was not sure I could get up and walk into the lobby after that. But I did.
Meanwhile, I was happily in the lobby reading stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, just having a good old time. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but I did not have a good day. And I just got home from that and I just went to bed. It was like 5 o'clock in the evening, and I was like, I'm out of here.
It was actually a review copy of a book from Hans Schantz. So I'll talk about that at some future point after I finish it. It's a retelling.
So you had your gums cut, you're bleeding
Right.
in your mouth, and you didn't take the opportunity to clutch at your throat and let all the blood start dribbling out.
Well, because I was leaned back, like all the way back. Yeah, my feet were up in the air.
Well, then you could have turned your head to the side. You could have, and turn over.
Tadano Hito notes. Patient refused Chinese water torture.
Yeah, that was really what it was like. It was really what it felt like.
That's a good one, Tadano.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I'm also convinced that the thing that they were doing to my tooth yesterday to just kind of fix it up so I could come back and re-endure this in 2 weeks, I think they cracked my tooth. And I'm serious about that. I think my tooth is cracked. And I'm concerned about that because I was talking to somebody about that today and they were like, my dentist did that too and they had to pull it. And I was like, no, don't tell me that. That's horrifying.
They can do a root canal.
Don't tell me that either.
I've got one final question for you. Is it safe?
It was exactly like that. I've seen that scene.
I've
seen that scene. Yeah, it was exactly like that. That has nothing to do with my paranoia of the dentist. It was... Okay, so here's really where it comes from. I barely remember this because I was like 6 years old and I had cavities and a lot of baby teeth. And like the dentist that was in my hometown that my mom went to was like this old-fashioned dentist, and he did not believe in using Novocaine on kids. So I'll just leave that at that. But yeah, it's been a lifelong fear of mine. And prior to this, I haven't been to a dentist since 2001. Fortunately, I have really good teeth, though.
That's kind of hilarious.
It's not hilarious at all.
It is.
It is not at all. It's terrifying. It's horrible.
It was great. He loved it. Oh my! All right. Well, so we'll save the survey for a little bit later, and we'll come back and we'll hear more about trauma in a little bit. We'll try and induce trauma and PTSD in the misses in a little bit. Speaking of PTSD, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell froze up again on camera. The 8,100,000-year-old Republican fell earlier this year.
Didn't Mel Brooks
and
make a
suffered-
movie about Mitch McConnell?
and suffered a concussion and broken ribs. This is the second time this summer he has frozen up on camera. Here's the video.
3 short years. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Calculating.
Did you hear the question, Senator?
Calculating.
Running for re-election in 2026?
He's thinking about going
All
to
right,
the
I'm sorry,
dentist.
you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
Yeah, no kidding.
come with us.
And then very faintly in the background, you can hear this.
Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Yep.
So there's a lot of speculation as to what's going on with him when those things happen. And, you know, it's everything from, it kind of looks like he's having like maybe a little mini stroke or something. And of course, none of these people have actually physically examined him. But
Or
probably,
our doctors in many
yeah,
cases.
yeah, or our doctors at all. But probably one of the most reasonable ones that I heard is that he maybe has Parkinson's disease, because that's a symptom of Parkinson's disease. And so it doesn't really affect him mentally, but it does make him go through some of those episodes. But, you know, who knows? His personal doctor says he's fine.
Yeah, my father had or mini strokes, and he would occasionally, I mean, when that would happen, he'd have the exact same thing. It was just like freeze up, and he wouldn't even know that any time had passed. I mean, he might be like that for 30 seconds, and then it was like start, immediately wherever he left off, and sort of bizarre, sad.
Codex notes that he might also have suddenly. So
Might have what?
Suddenly.
Oh, suddenly, yeah, it's that too. But whatever it is, I mean, his aides were right there, and they seemed to be handling whatever was going on like they were kind of used to it, maybe. So it'd probably be better if he was just up front with what was going on.
Yep. Time to retire.
Yeah.
Time to retire. All right.
Or
he could
take the brand new prescription drug. It's difficult to be a politician these days. Inflation, war, scandals. They can all weigh heavy on the leader of a democracy. So why not add a little chemical help as a solution? With new Propadol from Pfizer. Propadol is a new once-daily medication that can keep you going, even through those difficult days, when you actually have to sound coherent and less like your normal fuzzy-headed self. Do you have a big press conference to give? Propadol. An address to a joint session of Congress? Propadol. A big debate while running for an important office? Propadol. Propadol can even make you seem mostly human while riding a bicycle and eating soft-serve ice cream.
Warning, Propadol may cause drowsiness, paranoia, uncontrolled spending, a tendency to sniff the hair of small children, and a desire to paint the opposing political party as minions of Satan. Do not take Propadol if you have a history of not plagiarizing law school papers or stump speeches, having principles, or of being conservative.
New Propadol from Pfizer. Guaranteed to keep your leathery carcass propped up even on your worst days. Ask your doctor if Propadol is right for you. Propadol from Pfizer. It says you shouldn't take that if you have a history of being conservative. But I kind of think Mitch is probably be okay for that.
Jim thought that the product name should have been, I think it's Chinese name, Fukitol.
Well, we do have another commercial for that. It's called Fug It All.
Oh, well,
No, I think you're right. Mitch will be fine because he hasn't conserved a single thing in his life.
There you go.
That's exactly right.
All right. Tragedy in South Africa last week. The Newsbot has the gory details. Yeah?
Yeah? Are you there, Mark? I think Mark is maybe having some technical difficulties.
He-
We'll continue. Hopefully he'll be back.
He's having a McConnell moment.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Well,
go ahead and
well,
talk about the Johannesburg fire.
Last
Oh,
Thursday
great
morning,
story.
one of the Johannesburg's
No,
vertical
I think
slums
I'm
turned
having
into a
an
blazing
internet
death
moment.
trap.
Are you good? Are you back?
I think so.
All right.
Okay. Here's the news bot.
Last Thursday morning, one of the Johannesburg's vertical slums turned into a blazing death trap when a pre-dawn fire ripped through a sprawling 5-story building in Johannesburg's central business district. At least 12 children were among the 74 dead, and emergency responders said that the death toll would likely go up as rescue workers combed through the charred building's upper floors.
And I think that death toll has gone up. I think they're into the 80s now on that one.
Oh, yes, South Africa.
Yeah.
The less said about South Africa, the better. Tough times.
Yeah.
Not a lot of humor in that one.
No, really not.
I got nothing. So
Well,
let's
and
go.
this comes really very quickly on the heels of the big wildfire out in Hawaii, too. And I heard on the news this morning, actually, that there are still something like 400 people still missing and unaccounted for out there. And have you heard any of that on the national news? Have you heard any of that? How Biden is responsible for that? Or how anyone's responsible for that? Remember Hurricane Katrina? And how that was all George Bush's fault?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But let's move to something that might be a little bit more humorous.
Well, perhaps so.
The USA men's basketball team laid an egg on the court this weekend as they lost to Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Doesn't it sound like those should be people in lederhosen and maybe they're all 3 feet tall? Anyway,
It sounds that way, yeah.
And actually, they're one of the taller countries in Europe. Yeah, nearly caused the U.S. team to miss qualifying for the 2024 Olympics. The reason it seems like they are all too short, and the tallest guy sucks. So here's some blowhard from ESPN to make it sound important.
Is the weakness that this team has. They're just not very big, and in this particular game, Jaren Jackson, who's really their best big on the roster, he just didn't deliver, frankly. He fouled out in 15 minutes. He had 1 rebound. In the game against Montenegro on Friday, he had no rebounds. So this is a team that is already small, is not getting rebound production from its best big man, and that is really the gamble that USA makes. Like, think about it. Look at the NBA and look at the centers in the NBA. Almost all of the best centers are not American.
We do not have enough tall, non-jumping white boys in the NBA.
I'm just finding this hilarious.
Your big guy fouls out in 15 minutes and had 1 rebound. Why are you even there? Why did they even fly him to Lithuania? This, by the way, is a picture of Team USA. Here is Team Lithuania.
Wow.
I think probably what it was is that Team USA was just oppressed by the Lithuanians.
Or the cool green uniforms that look like
Those are really cool uniforms, yeah.
Lizard skin or something. They thought they were the predator. She says the jungle came to life.
Team USA, I think, played Italy last night, but I haven't seen what the score was, if they managed to beat Italy or not. I think if they lost to Italy, I don't think that they qualified for the Olympics. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So, blah, blah, blah. Sports stories.
Italy, record's just not that great. So, in most anything since, I don't know.
Well, but the thing is that halfway through the game, all the players switch sides. That's a World War II joke.
Yeah, and a World War I joke.
Yeah,
it's a repeat. Have you ever seen those big hamster wheels that people can use? Now imagine trying to run across the ocean in one. Then imagine trying to do it again, and then again. Fox 35 Orlando has the story.
Yes, he was. He didn't make it to London either. The most recent attempt was a little more than a week ago. So the Coast Guard says they had to rescue 44-year-old Reza Bellucci 70 miles off the coast of Tybee Island in Georgia. He was seen running in this hamster wheel contraption. This is certainly not the first time we've reported on him. In the summer of 2021, Bellucci was encountered by Flagler County deputies when that hamster wheel washed.
So he also tried it in 2014 as well.
That man, I appreciate him. He is working as best as he can to get that Darwin Award.
Well, but here's the thing. So it was his plan to run across the ocean, right? So when the Coast Guard picked him up, he then threatened to kill himself, claiming he had a bomb in the hamster wheel with him, which turned out to not be true.
So
he might be a little crazy.
Maybe just
maybe a smidge.
Yep, maybe just a little bit crazy. Mark, do they have that in your hometown? Did they have that in your country, Mark?
In my country? No. No. We just make large rafts out of potatoes.
It's true. Can eat mini potato. And just in, we have breaking news.
Oh! Breaking news. Hang on, I gotta find my mouse. Any day would be nice. There we go.
Breaking news.
Codex is having homemade queso with just picked peppers.
Ooh.
And I haven't had enough beers yet because I can still say just picked peppers. So, 44-year-old, yeah. So they didn't find any bombs there. Apparently, the Coast Guard did have to pick them up. So, what are your thoughts on Mark on that one particularly? Do you think that the Coast Guard had a duty to pick him up, or do you think that it was just kind of a, they drew straws to see who had to do it?
That's a good question because, if somebody's that crazy, why not let them? My guess is he probably drifted into some shipping lane and they thought it was going to cause a problem with commerce.
Well, they did. One of the things that they charged him with when they arrested him was being in an unregistered vessel. So apparently to drift in the ocean, you have to be in a registered vessel.
Well, see, it's a weird thing because he was in international waters by that point.
Yeah. So
I guess you can gamble and do whatever else you want in international waters, but by golly, it better be on a registered vessel.
Oh, well, speaking of registered vessels, have you ever taken your dog for a ride in your car? How about your gigantic longhorn bull? That's what happened to a Nebraska man last week. ABC7 from Chicago has the bull story.
A driver in Nebraska did not act cowardly on the road. He had a massive bull in the passenger seat of his car. Police got a call about a man driving on a highway. The bull is named Howdy Doody and was sitting in the vehicle. The car was big enough technically. It had even won best car entry at the Nebraska Big Rodeo Parade.
The officers received a call reference a car driving into town that had a cow in it. They thought that it was going to be, like a calf, something smaller, something that actually fit inside the vehicle.
It depends on what fitting inside the vehicle means, I suppose. Howdy Doody and his owner were pulled over, cited, asked to go back home. No one was hurt. The back of the car needed some cleaning.
Yeah, that was a horror show, the back of that car. Oh, my God.
What did they cite him for? Who cares? Gosh.
Maybe like an obstructed view or something like that. I imagine it was kind of difficult to see with the bulls.
I suspect it was more like cited because we were bored and had nothing better to do.
Yeah. I pulled you over. I got to think of something now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to pull you over because I can't just let you drive through town with a bull in your car. I don't know that it's strictly illegal, but I'll think of something.
The man's got to know his limitations.
Well, I mean, come on. He had to be able to drive in the carpool lane.
Go ahead. Haul some hay. All right. Speaking of things on the road and dead things, and let's hear a PSA from our government.
It's Labor Day weekend, one of the biggest driving holidays of the year. Your government wants to remind you that fun is okay as long as you follow the rules. Here are some rules from around the U.S. that you might not be aware of. In Massachusetts, you cannot drive with a gorilla in your back seat. In Louisiana, a woman's husband is required by law to wave a flag in front of her car before she can drive it. In Montana, unless you have a chaperone, it's illegal to have sheep in your truck. In Pennsylvania, when driving on a country road at night, you must stop every mile and set off flares or other warning signals, and then allow 10 minutes for livestock to clear the road. In Tennessee, it's illegal to shoot any game other than whales from a moving vehicle. In Washington, a motorist with criminal intentions must stop at the city limits and telephone the chief of police that he is entering the town. And finally, in West Virginia, it's perfectly legal to eat roadkill. Whether you're driving for 10 to 15 hours at a time for business or for fun and relaxation, remember to always follow the law. And even if you are in West Virginia, don't eat the roadkill, please.
This public service message is brought to you by your friendly neighborhood government, reminding all Americans, especially those in West Virginia, to drive safely and not to eat roadkill. Because it's gross.
I think that's the big takeaway from that PSA.
What the heck? What the heck? In Idaho, we have to get approval of Fish and Game before we can eat the roadkill. They can just do it.
It's not fair, man.
It isn't.
All right, so the missus indicated a little bit earlier that the donkey was dead for this week, and we don't have a brain jackass.
It's the tired donkey. Phoning it in. Lazy
instead,
was that Kamala laughing? It does. That sounds like her.
Oh, so,
let me see if I can find her so we can compare it. Very
That's
similar.
pretty close.
It is.
Yeah.
So Tim and Jim note, let's face it, we like the Mrs. Voice. We do indeed. So you just win in the voice category.
Well, thank you.
So instead of the Brain Jackass of the week, I do have a 10-question quality of life survey to help you determine what country that you should live in. All right. So the first is quality of life. Here's question number 1 out of 10. How important is quality of life to a country's overall success? Our quality of life sub-ranking includes the attributes: a good job market, affordable, economically stable, family-friendly, income equality, politically stable, safe, well-developed public education system, and a well-developed public health system. So on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 not being important and 5 being extremely important, what do you guys think?
Don't all of
Well,
those...
I don't know what to say, because if I say that that would be important to me, then people would be calling me racist and how I was, pining after the 1950s.
Well, I'm in trouble, Mark, because I would say, don't all first world countries have those things?
So you could
theoretically,
you could always do what I have marked already and say somewhat important.
Somewhat important.
Somewhat important. All right.
All right. Next, question 2. How important is entrepreneurship to a country's overall success? Our entrepreneurship sub-ranking includes these attributes: connected to the rest of the world, educated population, entrepreneurial, innovative, provides easy access to capital, skilled labor force, technological expertise, transparent business practices, a well-developed infrastructure, well-designed digital infrastructure, and well-developed legal framework.
No, I think we should just place everything in the hands of a few unelected government bureaucrats and let them make all the decisions. I think that's the best way to go.
I think we should be like China, yeah.
So you're saying that's extremely important then?
No, I said be like China, so extremely unimportant.
So not important at all. Okay. All right. How important is it? Well, it's too late. It's in there. How important is agility to a country's overall success? Our agility sub-ranking includes the attributes: adaptable, dynamic, modern, progressive, and responsive. Not important, or extremely important, or somewhere in the middle.
There seems to be words in there that need to be a little better defined.
It doesn't. No, this is just... This is a quiz because we don't have the bit because you were busy. So...
Well, because I think gymnastics is important to any country, I'm going to say very important.
Very important. All right. How important is social purpose?
Why
to
the
a
hell would I
country's
take a
goal?
test?
That's right.
Come on, man.
Jim also notes agility can turn backflips. And Codex notes Namibia wins again. How important is social purpose to a country's overall success? Our social purpose subranking includes the attributes: cares about human rights, cares about the environment, gender equality, religious freedom, respects property rights, trustworthy, well-distributed political power, racial equity, cares about animal rights, committed to climate goals, committed to social justice.
See, again, there are a lot of competing elements there.
So they have all these woke stuff, and then they throw in concern about property rights.
Yeah.
The two don't go together.
And free speech, but only speech that we agree with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And nowhere to say gun rights. So I'm going to put not important at all. Next. All right. How important is a country's recent upward mobility to its overall success? Our mover subranking includes these attributes: different, distinctive, dynamic, and unique. This is lame.
I don't believe I understand the question.
I've seen Cosmo quiz this.
I know.
That's Jim Wessel notes. Whose survey is this? The League of Women Voters? It's U.S. News and World Report.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah,
right
there. I'm going to put non-important because, again, upward mobility. Who needs that? How important is cultural influence to a country's overall success? Includes these attributes: culturally significant in terms of entertainment, fashionable, happy, influential culture, strong consumer brands, modern, prestigious, and trendy.
So a culture run by YouTube influencers?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Not important.
All right. Not important at all. All right. Only 3 more, folks. How important is being business friendly to a country's overall success? That includes cheap manufacturing, favorable tax environment, not bureaucratic, not corrupt, transparent government practices.
That depends. Can we farm it all out to China and have them do it?
That's why I put a little important.
Oh, okay.
Or bring illegals in to do it.
Right.
There you go. Adventure. How important is a place for adventure in a country's overall success? Friendly, fun, good for tourism, pleasant climate, scenic, and sexy.
Well, I understand that San Francisco's adventurous, but I don't know if I would call it family friendly or fun.
I mean, for God's sakes, we live in such an oppressive country. A man can't even get in a giant hamster wheel and run across the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, or drive his car with his bull.
With his bull.
In the
Yeah.
passenger seat.
Take his bull out for a nice drive.
So I'm putting somewhat important because you guys will not shut up. All right. How important is power to a country's overall success? A leader, economically influential, strong exports, politically, strong international alliances, strong military, has the bomb. I'm going to put extremely important on that. We want to live in a... Yep.
So you said that, I was thinking electricity?
Yeah.
So the last one, how important is heritage to a country's overall success? It includes culturally accessible, a rich history, great food, many cultural attractions, and many geographical attractions, which doesn't seem to be heritage to me at all, but
None of that's heritage.
All right. So we'll put a little important on that one.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So their point with that is that the mountain over there, that's my heritage? Okay, whatever.
Well, guess what? Your personal, the U.S. News best country for you is the United States.
That's shocking.
Number 2 is Germany. Number 3 is Japan. Number 4 the United Kingdom. Number 5 is France. 6 is Australia. 7 is Canada. 8 is China. China ranks above Italy and Switzerland.
That's pretty funny.
Okay. There we go. Oh, my. Tim Turner asks, if diversity makes us stronger, why does it require lowering standards? That's a good question. But it's not a question that I have for Think Real Fast.
Think Real Fast.
Tucker says the press ignored Obama's gay lover mess. So Tucker interviewed, and Obama stewed, but everyone knew Trudeau wears a dress. I couldn't resist a limerick on that one. Tucker Carlson interviewed Obama's alleged gay lover after letters from Obama fantasizing about having gay sex showed up this month. Mark, is love love?
Well, oh gosh, I don't know. I guess for Obama it must be. I mean, he obviously loved his chef enough to, well,
Tenderize him.
yeah.
Come on, we know that what really happened was Obama walked in into his bedroom and saw the chef there in one of the suits going, "Well, but," and there was only room for one. The missus.
Yes.
In a gay contest, who is gayer, Obama or Trudeau?
That's a hard contest. I'm not sure who would win that. But I'm pretty sure that Trudeau would win the Brooke Shields eyebrow lookalike contest.
Ooh, good call on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Delta diarrhea, cha-cha-cha. Delta diarrhea, cha-cha-cha. Who smelta? Delta. As they had to turn a parcel bound plane back to Atlanta because 6 square meters of the carpet was covered in, yeah. Mark, who was in the wrong here?
Anyone that was on that plane.
I think so. The missus, do you think they should have stopped feeding the passenger greasy White Castle onion cheeseburgers after the first quart?
Maybe they should have stopped feeding him that shrimp they'd let set out in the tarmac for a couple of days in the heat. That might have something to do with it. No, but I heard that they were 2 hours in when that happened. Mm-hmm. And they were out. This was a transatlantic flight, so they were over the ocean. So they had to come back 2 hours.
One of the passengers said that the stewardesses tried to cover up the smell with vanilla air freshener, and it just ended up smelling like vanilla poo.
Vanilla poo.
All right.
That's probably a situation where the pilot probably should have just ditched the plane.
All right. He ditched the plane. We're going in.
No one's surviving this. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't let this spread to the rest of the planet. All right. Oh, Canada.
They probably should just burn the plane though when they got it back.
Yep. Oh, Canada. Houses cost more than $1, and most people are out of luck. The average home price in Canada is $754,000 Canadian dollars, which I mean is not like a real dollar, but
that's like $150, isn't it?
Yeah, and the top 10% of earners are making 176,000 Canadian bucks, can't afford a mortgage. So if you're in the top 10%, you can't afford a mortgage on the average price of a house in your country. Mark, is this why adding more foreigners is better for your country?
Exactly. In fact, you don't even have to add the foreigners physically. You can do like what Canada did and just let them buy up all the property for investment purposes.
You are psychic because you have guessed my question for the missus. The missus, couldn't they import infinity more workers to make more houses for the Chinese to buy?
Yes, absolutely. We can just take them out of New York City, just keep them on the bus, drive them right across the border. That would make the mayor of New York City happy. Sorry, I'm eating during the podcast. I know it's kind of a faux pas.
Yep, I don't care.
But I have to say, I waited for this burger, which I brought Wilder one home too. This is a delicious hamburger. This might be one of the best hamburger places around. How have we? This is the first time we've eaten there. It's pretty amazing.
You just snorted. Berkey water filters.
No, I think I just sniffed.
Berkey water filters are being banned. Berkey's are fairly famous in the water filter business. Why? These filters use silver to kill bacteria. So the water goes through a silver filter in order to kill bacteria, which has been done for decades. In fact, they used to make baby toys out of silver because it killed all the germs. The EPA has, I kid you not, used a World War II era law to ban the filters because they're defining the silver as a pesticide. Mark, why does the EPA hate us all?
Because they're opposed to any any sort of human development or advancement or use of land. I mean, their ideal would be a pristine Earth would be an Earth without any humans.
There you go. The missus, do you think good scotch is now going to be ruled by the EPA as a pesticide since it'll kill bacteria?
No, but I think probably what it is that the animal rights people have gotten involved, and they are protesting on behalf of the bacteria that are being killed. They have a right to live too.
No, it's just in-group loyalty.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, we're talking on burgers, and the chat won't let it go. Is it one of those big Kahuna burgers?
It is not a Hawaiian burger. It's really just a bacon cheeseburger, but they have toasted the bun, so the bun is very crispy. And I'm eating it cold because I got it like an hour ago, but it is still really good, and a huge tomato slice on it.
Yep.
And I told John when I got home that I got fried pickles there too. And these are not your normal dill chip pickles that were deep fried. They were the size of a silver dollar and about a 1/4 inch thick. And they were so good, I ate them all on the way home.
So the Golden Arches of Peace? Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, what was he thinking? Meeting the Ukraine's foreign affairs minister at Mickey D's in Kyiv. Mark, do you think they have a McRib sandwiches in Kyiv?
They do, but they cost $1 million U.S. tax dollar each.
And I was going to say they used to, but they had to draft them into the army to go fight the Russians, so no more.
The missus, do you think Blinken said, for me, it's the McChicken?
Hey, 3 for free.
3 for free. That's from a copy pasta.
Yeah, we're the only ones that get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably got the burgers for free because he threatened to withhold $1 billion in aid if they didn't give it to him.
Which is perfectly legal, but asking about that's an impeaching.
Because, I'm just telling you, McDonald's is such a fun, cool, happening place. All right, Hunter had a sweet deal, but then the judge found it without appeal. Rumor is that feds plan to indict Hunter on gun charges by the end of the month, and he might spend 10 years in jail, said the newspapers. Mark, why will Hunter never spend a single minute in jail?
No, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, I know it won't have anything to do with his family or his father, that's for sure.
The missus, do you think the big guy needs 10% of the sentence?
He might get it. I mean, the House is thinking about the impeachment inquiry, which if they do the inquiry, they're going to impeach him. I mean, it's not going to pass the Senate, but...
No. A new trend is out where people reply to the deaths of Ukrainian soldiers on social media with images of crying, saluting dogs. Mark, how could anything be more respectful than that?
If the dogs were doing the rifle volleys.
There you go. The missus, why did the United States not think about doing this during World War II? I mean, we could have had pictures in the newspapers. Mr. Doodles is sure sad that Lieutenant Dan got blown up in Normandy.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused by this whole thing.
Are
the dogs crying and saluting?
The dogs are crying and saluting. It's pictures of dogs crying and saluting the dead Ukrainian soldiers. And I'm like, if I were a dead soldier, the last thing I would like is a picture of a dead crying dog saluting being my memorial. I mean...
Oh, the dogs are dead and they're saluting?
No, the people are dead.
Oh.
The dogs are fine.
What was it that I said to you the other day? I personally kind of have an issue with the people who put the in loving memory of stickers in the rear windows of their car. And I have told John that if I die first, you had better not put that in the rear window in the car. I will come back and haunt you. But I saw a worse thing than that the other day. And you know those yard signs, like a house for sale, that sort of thing? I saw an in loving memory thing like that on a yard sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's cheaper than burying them in a cemetery.
Probably cheaper than the sticker in the rear window too.
So if you die first, I'll get a little picture of a crying dog saluting, saying, "Mr. Noodles is sure sad that the missus got
dead."
blown up." We'll put that right on your tombstone. All right. We have the final story, and this is breaking news.
Oh. Says busy eating again.
Breaking news.
From 8 a.m. on September 6th, that's today, 2023, just in from the BBC. Scientists have grown an entity that closely resembles an early human embryo without using the sperm, eggs, or womb. So, Mark,
what the hell is it?
What could possibly go wrong?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, Frankenstein was such a wonderful love story.
It's such a feel-good sort of picture.
Yeah.
The missus, would this be like being born out of a McDonald's shake machine?
Kinda, yeah, I think so.
Things are getting weird, and they're getting weird fast.
Thank you, Elon.
Well, that way maybe.
And also this.
Well, we're boned.
Well, I guess my question for both of you: do you think this is how Obama had children?
It might explain Chelsea Clinton.
Oh, Chelsea. Well, that's all we have today for Think Real Fast.
Think real fast.
I got to give the comments from our folks watching live. Tadano says, "It's Rosemary's Baby." Jim Wetzel notes, "Sounds like some scientists are overdue for the wood chipper." Yes. No human parts. It's AOC's. Ted Turner. And those are all pretty good. I like that. Good stuff. Audience is outstanding. All
hey,
right.
someday those blobs could become chicken nuggets. So,
Well,
don't make too much fun of them.
For me, well, then Secretary
it's protein paste.
Anthony Blinken could eat them in Kyiv. So, I mean, this is, and then maybe that's what caused
probably better than what he would otherwise would eat.
Maybe that's what caused the Delta diarrhea. Cha.
So.
This is all connected. All connected.
Fecal matter.
Yeah, thank you. But that will also lead to Jim 7.
What? Oh, see, that's on a different page.
Well, yeah, but you know how
there it
to
is.
page.
Massive cannibalism.
All right. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight on this 101st episode. And it's, I can kind of we'll have even more. Next week it'll be 102. And the temperature will hopefully be less. But anyway, I'm John Wilder.
This is Mark.
And I'm the missus, still busily eating my hamburger. And it is delicious. Come on over, I'll save you some. I was a little early on that one. Y'all come back now, you hear?